Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be diving deep into the world of CNC machining.
Oh, fun.
Specifically looking at a revolutionary approach called HELLER4Use.
Yeah.
We found this super in-depth case study on this system, and honestly, the stuff we found is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, we might be talking about tech that could change a whole bunch of industries, not just factories, like making high-end technology accessible and affordable across the board.
Well, and what I think is really interesting about HELLER4Use is that it addresses one of the biggest obstacles in manufacturing, which is the upfront cost.
The cost
of CNC machines.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, traditionally, precision manufacturing has been, a game for the big players, the ones with deep pockets. But this system could totally change that.
It's almost like it's too good to be true. Like, you're stuck with like a bicycle budget and then suddenly you get to lease a Ferrari.
Exactly.
How does this pay-per-use model actually work?
So basically, it's like converting what we call CapEx.
CapEx.
Which stands for capital expenditures.
Okay.
Those big, scary upfront costs.
Right.
Into OpEx, which is operational expenses.
Operational expenses.
So instead of buying the machine outright, you're essentially renting it.
Okay.
And only paying for the time you use it.
That makes sense.
So it opens up a ton of possibilities.
Yeah.
Particularly for smaller businesses,
Right.
who couldn't even think about competing at this level before.
Okay, so it's like having a supercomputer for your factory, but without the supercomputer price tag.
Exactly.
What kind of an impact could this have on a company's bottom line?
Oh, the financial advantages are huge.
Huge.
There's no more large capital tie-up.
Oh.
So you have more financial flexibility.
Okay.
Scaling your capacity becomes so much easier.
Makes sense.
You can adjust to those ups and downs in demand without having to shell out a ton of money.
Right.
And your costs are spread out over time.
Yeah.
So you have predictable monthly expenses.
Predictable.
Which makes budgeting and forecasting way simpler.
So it's like switching from a massive mortgage payment to a manageable monthly rent, basically.
Exactly.
That's a good analogy.
And the best part is,
yeah,
what happens if your needs change? Like, maybe you don't need the machine anymore?
Right.
Well, HELLER4Use offers a 72-month contract.
Okay.
But with a minimum usage period of just 6 months.
Okay.
And here's the kicker. You can actually return the machinery if your needs change.
Wow.
So you're not stuck with this expensive equipment just sitting there gathering dust.
That is a game changer.
Yeah.
So it takes away a lot of the risk
it does.
of investing in this expensive machinery.
Big time.
Okay, let's dive into the tech behind it.
Sure.
What makes HELLER4Use so different?
Well, the core of the system
Yeah.
is a fusion of smart machine monitoring, cloud-based analytics,
I see.
and AI-driven predictive maintenance.
Okay.
So imagine each of your CNC machines having a digital twin.
A digital twin.
Like a virtual representation.
So like a virtual copy of the
Yeah.
physical machine.
It's constantly learning
and
helping optimize performance.
that sounds like science fiction, a digital twin.
I know.
So how does that actually work?
So one of the key features is the Lifeguard package.
Okay.
It provides real-time monitoring
Oh,
of vital components,
right.
like the machine's axis
Waxis.
and the spindle. It's like having a team of expert mechanics
Right.
constantly monitoring your machine's vital signs.
So no more frantic calls to the technician in the middle of the night.
That's the idea.
That's got to be a relief.
It is.
All right, so it's all about preventing those unexpected breakdowns, those
Right.
costly downtime issues.
Exactly.
How does this real-time tracking actually work?
So at the heart of it all is the Heller Services interface.
The Heller Services interface.
It's like the central nervous system.
Okay.
It gathers data from sensors all over the machine
Okay.
and then sends it to the cloud for analysis.
So the cloud.
Yeah, and this cloud-based platform is where the AI magic happens.
AI.
It's constantly crunching the numbers,
Right.
learning the machine's normal operating patterns.
So it's not just about collecting data.
No.
It's about using it intelligently.
It's exactly.
So like big data and AI for the factory floor.
That's a great way to put it.
So by analyzing all this data,
Right.
the system can pick up on
Yes.
little deviations from normal operation,
Exactly.
which could mean that there's a problem developing,
Yeah.
and then they can schedule maintenance
Right.
before things actually go wrong.
That's the goal.
Wow, so this is way more efficient and cost-effective than
Oh, yeah.
waiting for something to break down.
Way more.
It sounds incredibly complex.
It is.
Let's bring it down to earth for a sec.
Okay.
How do you actually set this up in a factory?
Well, Heller has actually designed the implementation process
Huh.
to be super user-friendly.
Okay.
They start by assessing your existing infrastructure
Right.
in your network.
So they're not just going to drop off a box of equipment and say good luck.
No.
They're actually working with you to make sure that it integrates into your existing setup.
Seamlessly.
That's great.
They take care of installing their big data client.
Big data client.
Which connects your machines to the Heller network.
Okay.
And the cloud platform.
Makes sense.
And they handle all the security protocols.
That's good to hear.
And data agreements to make sure that everything is protected.
Data security is so important these days.
It is.
So what about the people who are actually operating the machines?
That's a good question.
Do they need any special training to use this?
That's where the Heller Academy comes in.
Okay, the Heller Academy?
They offer a really comprehensive training program that covers everything from basic operation to advanced programming.
Wow.
And even repair.
So they really are teaching them?
They are, from A to Z.
Wow.
And they tailor the training to your specific needs.
So it's not one size fits all?
No, not at all.
They really customize the training.
They do.
To make sure everyone's comfortable.
Yeah, and confident using the system.
That's great.
They can do the training at their global academies.
Yeah.
Or right at your facility.
So they make it easy?
They try to.
That's great. And they're known for making the learning process?
Yes.
Engaging and practical?
Engaging and practical.
No one wants to sit through boring lectures.
Exactly.
So it sounds like they're really making an effort to make learning about this
They are.
interesting and fun.
They are?
And effective.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a huge plus.
Yeah.
And this is just the beginning.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, we're going to get into how this system revolutionizes production flexibility.
Absolutely.
Giving manufacturers the agility to adapt to rapidly changing market demands.
That's next.
Okay, but first we're going to take a quick break.
Let's say so.
We'll be right back to continue our deep dive into HELLER4Use after this.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. All right, so we're back.
Back again.
And ready to dive deeper into how HELLER4Use transforms manufacturing.
Absolutely.
Before the break.
Yes.
We touched on the idea of production flexibility.
Right.
So can you talk a bit more about how this system actually empowers manufacturers to adapt to those ever-changing market demands?
So picture this, a manufacturing setup that can kind of like expand and contract like an accordion.
Oh, wow.
Perfectly matching your order volume.
That's a great visual.
That's the kind of agility we're talking about with HELLER4Use.
So no more like being stuck with fixed capacity or, scrambling to keep up with those sudden surges in demand?
Yeah, it takes all that stress away.
It sounds like it could be a lifesaver for businesses.
It is.
Trying to navigate all this unpredictable stuff.
Oh, absolutely, especially in today's market.
What are some of the key features?
So Heller offers a whole bunch of automation solutions.
Right.
You know, to fit different needs and budgets. They've got everything from, like simple pallet changers to super sophisticated loading robots.
Wow.
And because you're not buying the equipment outright, you can actually integrate these solutions without a massive upfront investment.
That makes a big difference.
It does.
Yeah.
They can also help design, a system with optimized tool storage and production lines that can handle, different batch sizes.
So it's really customized to your needs.
It is. It's all about customization.
Wow. But it's not just about physical capacity.
Right.
No, it's not.
What about managing those orders?
You got it.
Making sure that everything runs smoothly from start to finish.
Yeah, you've hit on another major strength of HELLER4Use.
Okay.
It's really good at optimizing order management.
Order management.
Especially in today's world,
With smaller batch sizes.
Smaller batch sizes.
Shorter lead times. And those increasingly complex components.
Complex components, right?
It could be a real headache.
Yeah, so it's designed to kind of get rid of those bottlenecks.
Exactly.
And all the frantic juggling act.
The juggling act.
That can happen, when you're trying to meet those tight deadlines.
Oh, yeah. So HELLER4Use brings in intelligent process optimization.
Okay.
You get real-time production analysis.
Real-time.
Automated order prioritization.
Okay.
And dynamic resource allocation.
Wow. So it's like you've got a conductor orchestrating the whole production process.
Like a well-oiled machine.
A manufacturing symphony.
I like that, a manufacturing symphony.
Okay, but every manufacturer has those...
Those what?
Peak demand periods.
Wow, yeah.
that can really put a system to the test.
Oh, big time.
So how does HELLER4Use hold up?
So HELLER4Use doesn't just handle peak demand.
Oh.
It thrives on it.
Thrives on it.
It's designed for continuous operation.
Okay.
Even in those demanding 3-shift environments.
So no more sleepless nights?
Hopefully not.
Worrying about meeting those crazy deadlines?
Nope. HELLER4Use takes the stress away.
Oh, okay. So how does it maintain that performance?
Okay. So Heller has these specialized packages.
Oh.
Like speed and power.
Speed and power.
To match your needs.
Okay.
So if you're doing high volume machining of materials, like aluminum, the speed package is what you want.
Speed for aluminum.
And then for like those tougher materials, medium-sized batches, the power package is designed to handle that load.
So it's like having a Formula One car speed and then like a heavy-duty truck.
Yes.
For power.
Power.
You got the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
I'm really impressed with all this customization.
It's pretty amazing.
And the adaptability.
The adaptability is key.
That HELLER4Use offers.
It is.
And there's another performance advantage that might surprise people.
What's that?
Compared to traditional motor spindles, HELLER4Use can actually reduce running costs by about 30%.
Throughout the spindle life cycle.
Wow. So not only is it flexible and high-performing, but it also saves you money.
It does.
In the long run.
It's a win-win.
That's amazing.
It is.
Okay, so let's talk about the all-round carefree package.
Oh, yes.
How does HELLER4Use change the game when it comes to maintenance and support in the CNC world?
HELLER4Use is all about shifting from that reactive, fix it when it breaks approach to a proactive, preventative maintenance strategy.
Preventative maintenance.
It's all about maximizing machine uptime.
So that shift from reactive to proactive seems to be a real theme.
It is a theme.
With this system.
It is.
So how do they actually achieve that?
Right.
Carefree experience.
So the key is preventative maintenance.
Oh.
Remember the Heller Services interface?
The Heller Services interface, right?
It's always watching, monitoring wear and tear on every single component.
Okay.
So you have a super clear picture of the machine's health.
At any given time.
At any time.
So no more guesswork.
No more guesswork.
No more waiting for things to break down before you take action.
It's all about being proactive.
So they're using data, analytics, to really improve machine maintenance.
Exactly.
So by catching those potential issues early, you can avoid those expensive surprises.
Those big expensive surprises.
Right, that can bring your whole production line.
The whole thing.
To a halt.
To a screeching halt.
That foresight.
It's invaluable.
It is invaluable.
It is.
But what does this preventative maintenance package?
So it's a complete program. You get annual inspections of all the major assemblies.
All right.
And the machine geometry. And then you've got semi-annual and annual maintenance checks. As well as thorough inspections by Heller specialists.
So there are actually technicians involved.
Real people.
What's good to hear.
It is, they don't just rely on the computers.
It's not all algorithms.
No, it's not.
That's reassuring.
It is. And they even include a complete wear parts package.
A wear parts package.
With filters and media.
Okay.
And they'll even install additional wear parts based on the system's real-time condition monitoring.
So they're really trying to minimize downtime.
Minimize downtime.
And maximize the lifespan of your equipment. That's the goal. But even with the best preventative measures, things happen.
They do.
You can't always predict everything.
You can't.
So how does HELLER4Use handle those emergency situations?
Okay, so they have this global network.
A global network?
Of over 500 service professionals.
500?
Across 30 branches worldwide.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is. No matter where you are, you're covered.
But what about response times?
Response times are critical.
Yeah. When a production issue comes up, every minute counts.
Every minute they get that.
Okay.
That's why they have service level agreements.
Service level agreement.
That guarantees a rapid response.
Rapid response.
So for remote diagnostics.
You'll
get an initial response within 2 hours.
Within 2 hours.
And if an on-site visit is needed, a service engineer will be there by the next working day.
Wow. Those are some seriously impressive response times.
They are.
Sounds like they really take customer support seriously.
They do.
What about spare parts?
Oh, they've got you covered there, too.
Okay, good, because that can be a real bottleneck sometime.
It can be, They have a huge inventory of over 40,000 spare parts.
40,000.
And they guarantee delivery.
Wow.
Within 1 working day.
1 working day.
So no more waiting weeks or months.
For those essential parts.
Nope. They've got you covered.
It's like having a rapid response team for your CNC machines.
Ready to jump into action.
Okay, so let's walk through that emergency response protocol.
So the first step is usually their remote diagnostic services.
Remote diagnostic services.
Or RDS.
RDS.
This lets them analyze the fault remotely and figure out the best way to fix it.
So they can often diagnose and even fix problems remotely. Without any downtime at all.
That's the beauty of RDS.
That's amazing.
It is.
But what if it can't be fixed remotely?
When a technician is dispatched.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
And because they offer that unscheduled repairs package, it includes all the wear and spare parts.
They come prepared.
The technician can usually get the machine back up and running pretty quickly. That's a huge relief.
It is.
Sounds like they've got it all figured out.
They've thought of everything.
So with all this emphasis on proactive maintenance and rapid response, does it actually make a difference?
Oh, it does.
In minimizing downtime?
It makes a huge difference.
Okay, because you can have all the fancy systems.
Right.
But if they don't actually work...
It's all for nothing.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So what are the results?
Well, HELLER4Use has a proven track record of significantly reducing downtime.
Significantly reducing downtime.
Which leads to increased productivity.
Right.
And, of course, cost savings for manufacturers.
That's what we like to hear.
It is good news all around.
So we talked earlier about
the
digital twin.
The digital twin.
For each machine. Can you remind us how that plays into...
So the digital twin is really at the core of their proactive approach. It's constantly collecting data, learning the machine's behavior patterns, anticipating problems.
So it's like a virtual crystal ball
Kinda.
that can predict the future of your machines.
That's a good way to put it.
What are some other benefits of this digital twin technology?
Well, it allows for really precise diagnostics and troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting.
When there is a problem, Heller can use the digital twin to figure out exactly what caused it. And the best way to fix it.
That makes a lot of sense.
This level of detail really helps them prevent recurring issues. And minimize downtime.
So it's not just about fixing the immediate problem.
No.
It's about understanding why it happened in the first place.
And preventing it from happening again.
That's a really smart approach.
It is. It's all about learning and improving.
So this is all made possible by this combination of data.
Sensors.
And artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, the trifecta.
This has been a fascinating look.
It has.
At HELLER4Use.
It's really impressive technology.
They've really thought of everything.
Yeah.
From preventative maintenance to rapid response support.
Yeah.
And it's all powered by...
cutting-edge tech.
Cutting-edge technology.
It's changing the game.
It really sounds like a game changer.
It is.
In the world of CNC manufacturing.
Absolutely.
I mean, it makes high-end manufacturing more accessible.
More accessible.
More adaptable.
Adaptable.
And surprisingly affordable.
Surprisingly affordable.
So this might just be the beginning?
Who knows?
Maybe this kind of flexible, on-demand model could transform other industries too.
That's a really interesting thought.
It is, but we're going to have to pause our deep dive there for now.
All right.
But we'll be back soon.
I'm looking forward to it.
To wrap things up.
Yep.
And explore those possibilities.
Exciting possibilities.
Welcome back, folks. It's been quite a journey.
It has been.
Exploring HELLER4Use, this really revolutionary approach.
Revolutionary.
To CNC machining.
Absolutely.
We've covered so much.
We have.
From the technology itself to its impact on, cost savings, production, flexibility, even the future of maintenance.
The future is now.
It really is. I think what's most impressive to me is how HELLER4Use is tackling,
it is.
So many of the traditional challenges in manufacturing.
It's really impressive.
It is. And they've created a system that's both incredibly powerful, but also surprisingly accessible.
Accessible. It's a great combination.
It is. It's not a pipe dream anymore for smaller companies to access this high-end CNC technology.
It's leveling the playing field.
It really is.
Yeah.
But before we get too far ahead, let's recap the key takeaways.
The key takeaways.
For our listeners.
So to sum it up. HELLER4Use is a pay-per-use model.
Pay-per-use.
That gets rid of those huge upfront investments.
Right.
That have always been such a barrier.
Such a barrier.
For CNC machining.
Especially for smaller companies.
Especially for smaller companies.
But instead of buying the machines outright,
right,
you're basically renting them.
Renting them.
Paying only for the time you use them.
Exactly.
It's a huge shift in thinking.
It is a new way of thinking about it.
And it opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the financial model.
No.
It's about the technology.
The technology.
Can you remind us of some of the key features?
So the system uses a combo.
Okay, a combo.
Of smart machine monitoring.
Right.
Cloud-based analytics.
Cloud-based.
And AI-driven predictive maintenance.
So each machine basically has
right,
a digital twin.
That digital twin.
That virtual representation.
Yeah.
That allows the system to do all this cool stuff.
It does all the cool stuff.
Tracking performance.
Yep.
Anticipating issues.
Oh.
Diagnosing problems remotely.
It's like magic.
It is a little bit like magic.
It is.
So it's not just about having the machines.
Yeah.
It's about having that whole support system.
The support system is key.
Around them.
Yes.
To make sure that everything runs smoothly.
Smoothly and efficiently.
And because it's cloud-based.
Right.
You can access it from anywhere.
From anywhere.
Which is so convenient.
It is, especially these days.
For companies with multiple locations.
Right, or remote teams.
Absolutely.
We talked about how HELLER4Use offers that incredible production flexibility.
The flexibility is key.
Can you give our listeners like a real-world example?
Let's say you're a manufacturer and you suddenly land a huge order.
A huge order.
But you only need the extra capacity for a few months.
Right.
Well, with HELLER4Use, you can quickly scale up
your production.
Add more machines.
Exactly. Add more machines or automation solutions.
And you don't have to make a long-term commitment.
You just don't. It's short-term.
And then when you're done,
you
just scale back down.
Scale it back down.
Return the equipment.
Return it.
And you don't have to worry about those idle machines.
No more idle machines.
Sitting around costing you money.
No more.
That's how companies can be more agile, more responsive to those changing market demands.
It's all about being adaptable.
Adaptable.
In today's world.
So it's like having a manufacturing system. That can breathe.
That can breathe.
Expand and contract.
Expand, contract.
As needed.
As needed.
All this tech and support wouldn't mean much.
Right.
If it didn't.
If it didn't.
You know, help businesses.
Help the bottom line.
Improve their bottom line.
Absolutely.
What kind of impact is HELLER4Use having?
So we've talked about some of the cost savings.
Right.
But it's worth emphasizing that HELLER4Use really does reduce overall production costs.
Reduce costs. That's what we like to hear.
It does. And it does it by minimizing downtime, optimizing performance, and, of course, eliminating those big upfront investments.
So it's not just about saving money.
No.
It's about freeing up resources.
Freeing up resources.
That can be invested in other areas of the business.
In other areas.
Like research and development.
R&D.
Or, you know, expanding into new markets.
Exactly.
So it's about making manufacturing more sustainable. More competitive.
But do you think this on-demand pay-per-use model?
I think it has the potential to go way beyond manufacturing.
What other sectors come to mind?
So many healthcare.
Healthcare.
Energy.
Research and development.
Research and development. Wow.
Even space exploration.
Space exploration.
Think about it. Hospitals could lease state-of-the-art medical equipment.
Only when they need it.
Only when they need it.
That would be a game changer.
It would, or research labs could access super powerful computing resources on demand.
That's amazing.
It is. It's a whole new world.
It really is a vision of the future where technology is no longer a barrier to progress.
To progress.
And innovation.
And innovation.
We've learned so much today about HELLER4Use.
It's fascinating stuff.
It is, and it's clear that it's not just a technological innovation.
It's more than that.
It's a potential paradigm shift.
A paradigm shift.
In how we think about manufacturing.
And beyond.
And beyond.
It's exciting.
It really is.
Yeah.
HELLER4Use offers a glimpse into a future where resources are optimized, costs are minimized, and flexibility.
Flexibility
is king.
Flexibility is king.
It's an exciting time.
It is.
To be witnessing this kind of disruption.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. But thank you so much for joining us.
It was my pleasure.
on this deep dive into the world of Heller4Use.
The future of manufacturing.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
It has been.
And we hope you'll join us again next time.
Looking forward to it.
For another deep dive into the world of cutting-edge tech.
Do you then?
Until then, keep those knowledge-seeking gears turning.